This would be one of my series that I think I'm going to make, which is on my mind all the time, but I never get to do it because I'm too busy doing stuff. And right now I was thinking, or I've been mostly thinking in the last hour or so about humans and religion, I guess you could say. A subject that I've been thinking about my entire life from some early age. Uh, yeah, but right now I don't want to get into that because I need to be more thoughtful before I start in. I do think I might upload videos to YouTube. Yeah, I'm not sure about that. Uh, but right now I have to feed my goldfish, and what I thought I would do as a short one uh, on a subject that's totally interesting to me, and I could spend and do spend many hours contemplating evolution. And that would be evolution. And my thought for something quick would be my couple of thoughts about the origin of human aspects. Uh, Women's higher pitched voices than men, woman's ability to smell, which tends to be better than men, and the origin of consciousness. So I'm going to feed my fish right now. I'm rearranging plants and doing stuff. I just put in a new window. Um, okay, so I was standing on a bluff overlooking the ocean, and I heard a woman cry out. She was a good 1,000 feet away, maybe more. I was standing with my friend Jim. It was in the morning. It was at Pigeon Point Lighthouse. We had walked along the beach below the bluff and then come up onto the bluff. But tide was coming in, and these folks weren't really knowing that or thinking about it. Anyway, a man and a woman had taken the same trail we had, but so at this point they were at a pretty great distance, and the ocean was noisy as usual. Not always, but it was, waves were crashing and there was breezes, and I heard this woman cry out. She was okay, by the way. Uh, Anecdotally, I'll say that the guy she was with just hurried along and didn't even stay to be with her. But in any case, she did okay, found her footing and hurried along to get to the part where you could get back up onto the bluff. In any case, hearing her voice at such a distance, being someone who thinks about evolution, when I see various human behaviors in history or up close and personal, I wonder why evolution ended up there. So the high pitched voice, and I thought I heard her at a pretty high, long distance in the midst of a lot of other noise. Now, I've always thought that biologically speaking, males and females have different moments of being unable to protect themselves. Both of them, when in their baby years, young years, of course, but as adults, men may be for various reasons, and it could just to do with what the dangers are relative to the male's abilities. But the female is possibly going to get pregnant. When she's pregnant, as we all know now, she can perfectly well carry on with normal work, but she's inhibited. She can't run as fast. She's got stuff going on that makes it beneficial to her, and this zygote becoming a fetus, becoming a baby in her, their safety, to be able to call when she's in danger. So when the bear comes into view and the woman sees the bear, she yells out, and because her voice is higher pitched, it travels further and increases the likelihood that someone who can help her will come and help, shoo the bear away or whatever it takes. So in my view of evolution, the woman who just happened coincidentally to have a higher pitched voice, more of them survived in the ancient past because their voices could be heard when they needed help. I meant to add also, of course, once the child is born, the woman is even more encumbered to a crazy extent. And again, unlikely to be as quick and agile as she was before she had any children. So having a higher pitched voice, having a voice, whatever pitch it is, that carries further is going to be an asset. Having a deeper voice is going to be a problem in some cases. Those women with the deeper voices are going to tend to not reproduce. So anyway, that's my reasoning, shooting from the hip. Myles over here. The other one is smell. Another one, I should say. I read a book about, I never read a book. No, I read an article in Science News years ago now, probably 20 years or so ago, about a study that had found that women tended to have a better sense of smell than men. And that's certainly true in my personal life. The wonderful woman I've got to share my life with has a much better sense of smell than me, always has. So my thinking is, I've got a family with kids, babies, say, and they're in a cave. And the woman doesn't smell anything funny. So everything goes along lackadaisically. The kids get sick, and her genes don't get passed on. Another woman smells something funny. It doesn't smell right in here. So she says, we got to move, or we got to do something about this smell. And that woman's children are more likely to pass her genes on. So in terms of the male, one would expect that he too, if he's in the environment, is going to also smell this. So of course men have a sense of smell and can smell things that don't smell right. It's just a matter of degree, I think, that females can smell better. They smell their babies. They know when the baby is not well by smell. Anyway, that's my other one for this so-called quick video. My third one is the origin of consciousness. I was listening to Sam Harris talking to somebody about consciousness. I've listened to Sam Harris since he wrote The End of Faith, and I've been faithful. I think I've heard almost all of his podcasts, although he's been putting out a bunch lately, so I'm actually in the period of catching up, listening to one after the other. But in any case, he was talking about consciousness with someone who knew a lot about it, just as Sam does. And they both agreed that they didn't didn't have an idea, or there is no solid knowledge about why consciousness. What's the point of consciousness? Okay, so here's my telling. You can take notes. The This goes back to an earlier contemplation of mine from many years back, when I wondered to myself, would animals evolving on other planets have the same five senses that we have: touch, smell, hearing, seeing, taste, of course, a favorite of mine. And I decided, just by contemplating this, I don't study these things, I contemplate them, that of course, if there's light, then an animal life will take advantage of life. I'm not saying it will see, but it will know. The amoebas, I'll pretend I know about these mini bio lives. The amoebas that were in the shade underneath the water there, in the coral or something, the ones that were in the shade didn't get eaten to the extent that the ones that were in the sunlight got eaten. And so they reproduced more. And so knowing whether you were in the shade or not mattered, it turned out. Not that you thought about it in the first place, but you just by circumstance, by happenstance, the ones in the shade lived more. So, okay, so that was how I figured that's easy for light. It's true of all five of the senses. You think about it. If there's going to be noise of any kind, life is going to probably come up with a way to take advantage of that information. You can hear the enemy coming or whatever. And I'm talking way back when these senses were first being formed. Okay, so that's old news in my head as I'm listening to Sam and someone I don't remember who it was, talking about consciousness. And it came to me that a primitive life form that has developed its second sense, so let's say seeing and hearing, now it's taking advantage of light and noise. In that moment, there needs to be a connection between the two for some sense to be made of it. Well, that particular noise doesn't matter if I'm in the light, or that particular noise doesn't matter if I'm in the dark. So I say that is the birth of consciousness. It says nothing about the substance of consciousness. I could go on about that, but what would I know? Everybody, I've listened to quite a few people talk about consciousness, and I get it that we're all wondering, and others at much deeper levels than me. So that'll be my tape for today. And I'm going to have to think about it. Maybe I'll listen to it first. I might post this one on YouTube and not announce it or anything, but just put it there. Partly this morning I thought to myself, well, what if one of my theories turns out to be have some meat on those bones? I'd like to get it out there on date. The one with the smell is probably 10, 15 years ago. No, no, never mind. The one with the smell is more like 20 years ago. The one with the hearing is maybe 15 years ago. And the one with consciousness is probably about a year ago. I don't exactly remember. I told Sam in the comments, not that he's looking at my comments. Whoever you are out there, remember love. That's the thing.